Oh, Seal, and welcome back, family. You know what it is. It's another edition of Real Talk. Now, we're going to talk about, and we're going to jump into this. You should not be calling yourself, you should know what a Native American Indian is, the difference between it and the difference between you.
Not only that, why you should stop identifying as black as well. Why you should just do away with that word altogether. So today is a double-edged sword.
Okay.
It's 2 or 3 sides to this coin.
Okay.
It's going to be about Native Americans. That ain't you, that ain't me.
That ain't me.
And it really ain't them, but we're going to talk about that today. And we're going to talk about the term black, where it came from.
Oh, hey, let's start. Let's get right into it.
Boom. Let's get into it. We're going to play this video that we got from PBS last night. We saw this on public broadcasting TV about these natives fighting with these other immigrants about being native. And they're calling the other immigrants delusional, and how they are trying to pretend to be them, and the other immigrants are pretend Indians.
Right.
And they're the real Indians.
The real Pretendians.
Right.
So that's the fight over the Pretendians.
Exactly.
The Pretendians, yeah.
Pretendians against Pretendians.
Right, sure.
Okay. Now, listen to this pale-faced fella tell you that he's Indian. And then listen to these other people tell you that they're Indian. And they got Shikawaka in their blood. And Shikawaka is the land that they come from. Okay. Ready? Everybody ready?
I mean, I'm fine with it.
Many of us are not tribal members, but have lineage traced back to Native Americans.
I married a man, a local man, who has Native American blood in his veins.
My son actually has Native blood, so it's the youngest daughter.
They are Native American, but I am too, and pass that on to my children.
I wish I had their Native blood.
I've lived here in Skowhegan all my life, and I've been Skowhegan from my reservation.
And my past, I lived in Morris Rock. That's an Indian name.
This is a turning point in a lot of ways, because they've gone from, well, we know we're not Indians, but we're going to call ourselves Indians because we want to, and it's our heritage and our pride, and we love it. So now they're like, well, maybe we are.
Okay, so pretend Indians versus pretend Indians. What do I have to say about that? They've been doing that since the beginning of time.
Since the beginning of time.
Immigrants fighting with other immigrants about native status. Now everybody's saying, well, I got a little Indian blood in me.
And I live in an Indian named town all my life, so.
So we're at the
Skip all these people. You get the gist. All these pale-faced people saying that they're Indians. They are not indigenous. Let's tell you what indigenous is. Indigenous is an aboriginal. Aborigine is a person who's been on their landmass from the beginning.
From the beginning, that's important.
Malcolm X said it best. Aborigine. What is that? Black folks. You'll never find a white aborigine. Aborigine is us. Us. Black folks. We are the aborigines of this land. You know aborigines to be dark-skinned people. They're always dark-skinned people. You and I are an aborigine. But you don't like to be called aborigine. You want to be called American.
Black American or African American.
But let me tell you, that Black American and African American are taking away the power from your ancestors. Your ancestors did not call themselves that, and neither should you. Let's get into what Native American actually is. Because some people will argue you down and say, no, you ain't no Native American. And you should say, you damn right.
That's right.
I ain't no Native American at all. I am what? Aborigine. I just told you, aborigine, from the beginning. Ab mean from, originally means the beginning. 2 Latin words. Aborigine. That's what you are. Indigenous. From here. This land. Turtle Island is what it was called. Then came the colonies. We always had confederacies. We've always been sovereign. The nativists came over here, saw that sovereignty, saw those confederacies, and said, hey, that's what we need to do. Because Catholics are getting ready to take over everything. We need to do something as Protestants, and we need to be sovereign like we see the indigenous people here. Hey, what better way to do that than to replicate everything that they do? Let's put on feathers. Let's dance around the fire. Let's go to the river. This is all of that. Okay, and that's what they did. But they are not truly indigenous. They are settlers. And they'll tell you that. They know that. They know that for real, for real. And peep this. Everybody can't be Native American. I'll tell you why. Because this is how they set it up. Let me tell you. Those Mesoamericans are a different version of what you see. They're not us.
They're not. Well, none of
Those
these people
pale
are
faces,
us.
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
But there's an origin story to everything.
And we're telling you the origin story.
All right, let's get to the origin story. The Know-Nothings. You've heard this before. If you haven't, here it is. The Know-Nothings is the nativist party. Okay, those are the Native Americans. The Know-Nothing movement was a nativist political movement in the United States in the mid-1850s. This national political organization of the Know-Nothings was officially known as the Native American Party prior to 1855. Thereafter, it was simply known as the American Party. Members of the movement were required to say, I know nothing, whenever they were asked about specifics by outsiders, providing the group with this name, I know nothing. Okay?
And that led to the present Republican Party.
Yeah.
That's why you heard Trump say he knew nothing.
Let's get into it. What is this? This is a republic, right? A lot of people think it's a democracy.
Of course.
But it's really a republic.
It's really a republic.
The Pledge of Allegiance tell you that. To the republic for which it stands. One nation under God, right?
Right, under
Right,
God.
Under God. This is a republic, okay? This is not really a democracy. And the Native American Party, which is also modeled after things like the Ku Klux Klan Party and things like that, they all worked in tandem. This American Republican Party pivoted into the politics that you see today.
Exactly. Ooh, that was plain. That was quite simple too. That was to the point. That's why we say you can't put any of your faith, any of your energy into this present government.
And you can't let your children
No,
put
you
any
must.
of their faith
You have
or
to teach them. Each
think
one
about
teaching
it.
one.
They go to school, the young ones, and they say Pledge of Allegiance. They put their little hand over their heart and they say the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag.
To the flag. But did you know that the Pledge of Allegiance had been revised several times?
It's been revised so many times subsequently for each generation. They wanted to use a certain language because it's still that proclamation of the gospel, but it's also that mind control.
And they did it to the children.
They always
It
start
wasn't
with the
grown
children.
folks, like you say.
No.
You wasn't really saying it by the time you got grown.
No.
It wasn't the grown folks, it was the children. They didn't have to revise the language as much as they add to and United States of America and In God We Trust and things like that. That's what they did to the children.
what
So
they
they
did to
would
the
pledge
children.
their allegiance to that flag.
I mean, let me just say this. You're pledging your allegiance in a way when you stand up and sing the Star Spangled Banner. That's what adults do.
I was going to get into that.
Okay, see.
The Star Spangled Banner is also modeled after the Republican Party, which are who? The Native American Party, the nativists. The Star Spangled Banner came from the nativists. The Pledge of Allegiance came from a Baptist minister.
That proclamation of the gospel. And there is no separation between church and state.
So tell me this. Why was Colin Kaepernick the only one to kneel during such a ceremony? Why was he the only one?
Because
Rhetorical question,
but that's why our people should understand that whatever we do that's in regards to this government in any kind of way is a dishonor to our ancestors, and it's not what we were doing.
Why was Colin the only one to kneel at the football game? Why didn't any of us do the same? It's my question to you.
Yeah, I think that's a substantial question.
Especially after knowing this information, it should be passed on in the community enough to know that this anthem ain't for you. And then it disempowers you. It takes your energy.
Where attention goes, energy flows.
It takes your children's energy. They always do it on the younger generation.
They're casting spells all the time. That's why they call it spelling. You know, you have to think about it.
You ain't got to be no magician to
No.
know what time it is.
That's right. And so we want you to wake up. We want you to not only affirm that identity to yourself and people around you, but most important, the next generation, the children, because their indoctrination is a lot more different and more intense than ours was. You know, this media, this television.
That tells lies to you visually.
All the time, they're really focused in on that. You know, that's why social media is so big.
But
We
you
have to bring
have
it
to
back.
use this medium in a way to communicate with the next generation.
That's
That's
right.
why we say share this message.
Share this message, and also that oral history. That's important. If they hear it from their parents first, and their parents are affirming this, then they will affirm the same. You know how children are. You know where they get their first learning from.
Yes.
They get it at home. They get it through their parents. You know, and it's ignorance for you to think of yourself as a Native American Indian. It is a dishonor to your ancestors and to the bloodline that you have, the great one, for you to go for so many of these narratives. I mean, you've been told, you've been shown. It's time for us to put this into action, everyday action. This is not new to you. And for those of you all who it is new to, then now you know. We are the indigenous Niji of this land. We are present and accounted for 10 toes down.
We've been here.
We'll
And we ain't
always,
going nowhere.
we're not going nowhere.
So when people say you're not Native American, say you're right. Say you're right.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely right. I'm not Native American. I am an Aborigine. Aboriginal, and everybody can claim that. I am the copper-colored person. That's what you need to start pledging.
That's right.
That's what you need to start
Pledge
singing.
allegiance to our people, to yourself, to your ancestors.
Forget all that, oh, say, can you see? Can you really see?
Hey, start
By the
saying,
dawn's early night, can you see past the dawn's early night?
you can start off with OCO to each other.
Exactly.
Changing the way you greet each other.
Yes.
You know, showing each other more love, more respect, opening your mind. See, that was a part of our people's spirituality. Our minds were open. We were awakened to changes. We moved with those changes. It's time to change.
It's time to acknowledge who you really are and stop with all these disempowering terms. Who are you really? Malcolm X said that too. Who are you really? You don't know, do you? Don't tell me Negro. And since we in 2023, don't tell me Black.
Don't tell me African American.
Don't tell me that ain't nothing.
No,
so
that ain't
who are
nothing.
you really? Before they told you you was that. Who are you? I
Who
just
are you?
told you who you are. You're an Aborigine. What language did you speak? The Algonquin language. The language of this land.
What did you worship? You had spirituality. You were in tune with the universe, with nature, and yourself. And we were creators, not consumers. We created. As we always say, we are the blueprint to the world. But so many of us are still taking selfies using someone else's face, not creating, just accepting.
Not recognizing our own power.
Not recognizing our greatness, our long legacy, filthying up our bloodlines. It's time to clean up your bloodline. It's time to honor your ancestors and the people who came before you. It's time to learn from the mistakes in the past because they should have been learning lessons. It's time to be present and accounted for.
Well, I'm on time.
I know you are.
You on time? Because
You
it's
know,
time. It's past time.
time.
We love you. We enjoyed doing this segment. Leave a comment below. Share the message. You know what to do. And we'll see you soon.
And continue to join us on our journey of not only discovery, but of learning, of power, of raising our consciousness by solidifying our identity, learning to be more sovereign, as our people always have been.
Hey, if you don't share the knowledge that you have, what good is it?
That's right. Hey, peace out.